Every time someone says Fast and Furious now, it's getting bleeped.
That's funny. You know what, Matt? If you keep the intro in, I'll give you that. Anytime from here on out, I say it, you're allowed to bleep the name. You can go bleep and bleep.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Because we were so confused.
Welcome to All Topics No Pizza, where we start with a single idea, then add new topics until we are stranded in the ocean. I am Matt, also known as Rhuminus.
I'm just Deion.
Okay, so for everybody who's a little confused as to why there's like maybe 10, 15 seconds of silence, is because Nick started talking about Fast and Furious again. And so I made it a deal with him that he had one episode where he gets talked about Fast and Furious once more, and now it is over. So he has been cut out. That is not a joke. I will make sure to do that in editing, just so you know.
Don't you dare.
I will absolutely. They will hear silence and go, "Oh, did my video buffer? Is my file corrupted? What happened?"
Don't you fucking dare, you asshole. I wrote that whole thing down. I prepared the bit. The bit stays.
The bit is gone.
No, the bit stays
over, son.
if you leave it in there.
That is going to be in the outro. That is going to be in the extra content. You got to pay $75.
No. You didn't even give Eric Rutabaga a chance. Mr.
I did not.
That's so
Rutabaga.
funny.
It's a vegetable.
Yeah. I was alluding to the fact that one of you is named Rutabaga. And the other one's nickname is Jim.
I know you didn't plan this part, but I hate rutabagas. Really? I used to work as a produce manager, and goddamn did I hate rutabagas so much.
Well, you know what? Now that you've specified that you hate rutabagas, you got to keep the intro bit in.
This is the sound of me Googling rutabagas.
It is a giant turnip-like thing. It is an extremely hard rock that people would eat, typically in Eastern Europe.
Explain to me how
it doesn't taste good. It doesn't want to be eaten. You boil it for 9 hours, and it's still. It becomes harder for some reason. It doesn't become edible.
Explain to me how it's different from a turnip, except that it's bigger.
It's just bigger.
Hey, Deion, you know how you explain it? That way.
It's just bigger.
It looks like a potato after you cook it.
And because they're hard as a rock, they don't like become mush. They don't go bad, except they get moldy. And it's just it's awful. I hated them. They have like a waxy coating on them.
And I don't want to hear any rutabaga stands coming into the comments.
You
just
don't know how to cook them. My grandmama had the beautiful recipe. Yeah, right.
Listen, my family would have something called Velia because they held on to stupid Polish traditions where they would have sledja, which is raw herring in tartar sauce and pickled, and it's pickled, and it's awful and it's disgusting. And they'd have 14, 15 dishes of this kind of stuff with like World War II Poland era style food where they couldn't get anything, so it was just a refuge. It's disgusting. No, just because it's tradition, just because your family had it, doesn't mean it's good.
You know what? Not gonna lie, I'd try it. I'd try it at least once.
I'm
sure it's terrible.
It's awful. There's always one person out of like the 30 who would like it, and it was awful. It like seriously, all of us would literally be gagging. We would have a Snapple for our drink for our dinner, and then we would have a sledge of Snapple because we wouldn't touch that anymore because it was contaminated. But that is not a joke. Shit was revolting.
You know what else is revolting? Any attempt at making a movie out of Mario. Yes, I did the segue. What the fuck, Nintendo? I really got to get this off my chest, guys.
Okay, buddy.
I'm really upset.
All right, so let's
You
talk
go
about
ahead.
movies for the 5th goddamn episode in a
No,
row.
you know what? Movies are a big part of our culture. Movies, television.
Name one movie that's
YouTube,
been a part of our culture. Name one.
Blade Runner.
Besides that one.
Moby Dick.
I didn't even hear what you said. I didn't even
Did you
say
say
what you
I
said.
said Blade Runner.
I was gonna say
Blade
I was gonna say
Runner? Yeah,
Blade.
great movie. I don't-
No, Blade. No, Blade. Because Blade paved the way for literally every Marvel movie. We're a Marvel nation now at this point.
That's why they're remaking it.
But the way that it was important to our culture.
Yeah, but I don't think Blade Runner was important to culture because it's a cult classic, but it wasn't a huge hit. I don't
All
think.
right, find Matrix. Fuck you. If you want the red pill, if you want to talk about that movie for 2 episodes in a row, we can talk about that again. No. We're gonna talk about the Mario movie.
There's
We're
Gone
gonna
with
talk
the
about
Wind, Citizen Kane, The Shot. There's so many other movies besides The Matrix.
What did those
Marvel.
movies do for society?
They taught some valuable life lessons.
Is
and
that all
also,
you got
we're
out
just-
of Citizen Kane? Was some valuable life lesson?
Guys, we need to stop talking about Citizen Kane because I actually haven't watched it. You're gonna out me real quick.
Are you not allowed to not have seen Citizen Kane?
If you don't want the cinema snobs to attack you, and
Then I
that's not
definitely have seen
the cinema
Citizen
snob.
Kane, and I think it's super good.
Yeah, be really careful about what you say next.
All right, so we're just gonna have to redo the intro.
We're gonna tiptoe around Citizen Kane. We're just gonna leave that landmine for a different episode.
All of this is a wash. We gotta start over. We have insulted so many people real quick, right off the bat.
We're coming out being
I don't
salty
care
today.
about insulting people. That's like saying that it's a problem if you insult people that liked reading Dune. No, you didn't. It's just nerd homework. You didn't like reading it. Don't.
You know what? No, I'm actually sit here. I'm gonna say it right now. Listening to the audiobook of Dune, I get it.
No, exactly.
It's-
You didn't read it though, did you?
All right, but that's because I have horrible, crippling ADHD, and I couldn't possibly sit still long enough to read more than a quarter of a page of what is a tome of sci-fi nonsense.
Exactly. You couldn't read it. So people that said they enjoyed reading it are sociopaths. And you know what? That's fine. That's
You know what?
fine.
You can be a sociopath. All right, who have we offended?
I'm fine with you being a sociopath. Not you, literally, but the proverbial you. But don't tell me that everyone should enjoy reading it. It's just not true. It's not enjoyable.
But no, if you sit down and listen to the audiobooks, you'll enjoy it. Dune aficionados, please don't at me if I get a little bit of this wrong. I'm literally listening.
I would
to the first
drop
book
his
for the
at
first
in
time.
all the
This
comment
podcast
sections.
is just gonna be empty air. It's gonna be dead air because I just cut out everything.
Nick just gets cut out for his.
No, we all
horribleness.
get. I was talking about rutabagas. You're talking about dude. I forget what Deion was talking about, but he insulted somebody too.
So like it has stuff that's steeped in like the stuff you'd usually expect out of sci-fi, but then you also get shit like the Kwisatz Haderach, which is the main character Paul. Spoiler alert. He can like tap into the shared collective genetic memory of all males, and as a result, he can also see the future, past future, because it keeps framing it as it's the past in the future that he's seeing.
Wait.
That
So
weight
right,
that you
so
just
he can
said,
say
that weight,
he can see
the future, but in the past.
No. Wait,
I'm so-
is it the past in the future, or is it future in the past? Because it's different.
So he can see the events that are about to happen
Time
as if
is
they've
cyclical.
already happened.
It is always.
That's always
was
what
and
happens when you
always
see the
shall
future.
be.
You see a vision of something that's happened because you saw it, right?
Right. He sees an event that's going to already have happened in the future. So like he'll
Already
see.
will
he'll-
have, I don't.
Does
I
that
need
mean-
to
does
tell-
that-
I need a
does that
map.
mean-
I
does
need
that
a
mean
map.
that he
He'll-
can't have done
on
anything
the
to
map.
change it? He just knows.
So no, he can change it because he can see
Then it didn't
multiple
have happened.
iterations. But it did if he had made certain choices. That's what I'm saying. Is like the way it treats prescience,
That's
the way it
stupid.
treats seeing the future.
That's not how it works.
is
Alright.
kind of insane.
So Mario,
Yeah, Mario. So
because I'm getting away from
That's-
this shit.
yeah,
Because
that's
not only we
fine.
talked about this a little bit
That's-
before, my
That's
brain
not how
hurts.
have
I have-
happened works.
I have here.
If it
a,
already had happened in the future, then you don't get to change it.
no, but
It-
because he can
the
see
future
multiple.
can't has happened because the future
Then
didn't
it's
ha-
just
it-
a vision
It
that
will
he had.
happen.
He can change. He's
And there's the
Raven,
future
but
perfect
Dune.
tense of will have happened, but I hate the future perfect tense, as do most people.
He's just.
But that's
So
exactly,
Mario-
that's exactly what he's saying. Will have happened. Like
Mario?
sometimes.
Mario.
All right, yeah, Mario. All right, I have. Here,
We're done.
for anyone who hasn't heard, Nintendo released an announcement that they would be making a Mario movie with what is it? Illumination is, I believe, the studios that do Despicable Me and the Minions movies. So I have here, I think this is not a tweet, this is most likely a Tumblr post. Some people may have seen it floating around, but I'm going to read it verbatim because I think it really sums up how we all feel about the announcement of the cast for this movie. So here we go. You have no idea how pissed I am. Nobody has any idea how pissed I am. I think a mother who's been distanced from her kids for years and just found out he's been calling another woman mother wouldn't understand my anger and heartbreak. I'm at a loss for words.
Insult my mother or something? I don't understand.
When I saw the words Mario, Chris Pratt, I vomited so much that I couldn't get high anymore. All of the edibles were out of me. Then I vomited up blood and had to go to the hospital where I didn't understand a single word because I'm stuck in Czechia. I broke my Pickle Rick pipe that I bought with me.
This take is super invalid.
I feel like that last part was very specific and
It's
actually very
still
true.
going. It's still going. It's the 20th anniversary of my father going missing. I tried to astral project to fight Chris Pratt in the astral realm, but I couldn't find him. I don't think he has the soul to even fight. If he did, I could beat him. I took on.
This is This is a Tumblr post.
Sorry. I took on astral Yowie Ronald Reagan. After all, I'm so mad, so fucking mad. It all hurts. It hurts so much. I'm traumatized. I have PTSD. Weed isn't even helping me calm down. I don't feel like I'm stable enough for harder drugs. This flat has ketamine and all sorts of harder drugs. But if I do any of them, I feel like I'll black out and do horrible things to myself and others. I feel like I'm on the verge of a blood rage. If I wasn't spiritually strong, I would have gone into a full blood rage. I'm starting a journal dedicated to manifesting bad energy towards Chris Pratt.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to send him psychic attacks and it keeps getting
with
blocked.
The hate towards Chris Pratt,
I think he has a consciousness shield of some kind. I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad. So thank you, Evil Mario 666. And thank you for that. I believe that is the pulse of the nation right now.
No, it's not.
You know,
Okay, no. So here, there was specific hatred towards Chris Pratt that I do not share. I got nothing against the man personally. I got problems against the casting director, sure.
He's got the weirdest hate boner I've ever heard. Here's the thing. I'm not going to sit here and defend Chris Pratt. He's done some weird things, some not great things, some bad things, right? He's funny. He's got some really good outtakes. And that's as much as I'll say that is positive about Chris Pratt. Anyone that has made it into the Marvel Universe is almost, I'm not going to say completely, is almost bulletproof. Because once you're in with Disney, and we all know what Disney's about, you're pretty much it. Like they will absolve you of all your sins. They will shield you from all of your wrongs.
So they are the church now?
No, but I feel like Disney is a little bit like the Vatican. Like a little bit, right? Like people don't care that Disney was a racist organization for like the first 50 years. People don't care that Walt Disney was a vapid, amazing race. They don't give a shit. People don't talk about how Disney used to have racist cartoons in publication and on TV. No one cares. Disney's amazing now, right? Oh my God, Disney Plus, yay, Frozen, yeah. No one gives a shit. Once you get in with Disney, you're pretty much good, right?
Which we are no longer going to get to Disney.
We're not. I'm not gonna get into Disney.
Thanks, Deion.
I'm not gonna get into Disney.
Don't worry, Disney will be able to buy us. It doesn't matter.
Right, and then
all my great Star Wars stories are now out the window.
All of our things are anti-Disney, right?
Disney. Let me tell you, Matt doesn't have any good Star Wars stories. I have the best Star Wars story for you.
You know, more than one person can make a Star Wars story. You shithead, Fast and Furious asshole. Both of you. Every time someone says Fast and Furious now, it's getting bleeped.
That's funny. You know what, Matt? If you keep the intro in, I'll give you that. Anytime from here on out, I say it, you're allowed to bleep the name. You can go bleep and bleep.
Oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Because we were so confused. Oh my God.
No,
but okay, so listen. But And so I don't care that people hate Chris Pratt because they do for good reasons. I've heard, but I also don't care to hate him myself.
Political
I don't follow celebrities, so I have no idea. I honestly don't.
Things of that.
Yeah,
nature.
exactly. Like it's things that are personal. That for some reason, like who cares what his personal life is like? He's a decent enough actor for the roles that he was cast. He's been immortalized via Marvel. Like you can't get away from him if you care about comics now. The other thing is also we don't know how bad this movie is going to be or how good it's going to be. Straight up, like who cares who they cast? Because it could be a snuff film for all we know. It's not. I know it's Disney, but like
I don't know. Luigi died in Smash Brothers Ultimate. That Grim Reaper
my
just
favorite audio ever is of someone reviewing Smash Brothers, and they just go, "Is that the Grim Reaper?" All sorts of audio fry happen. It's great. It's so good.
I got a cast list for you.
Okay, go for it.
It
Don't
doesn't.
care.
Go through it.
So you got Chris Pratt as Mario.
Okay.
Anya Taylor-Joy, who I do not
Is this
know,
accurate or is this a meme?
as Peach. No, this is accurate.
You know what's sad is when you have to ask because it's already starting off so ridiculous.
Charlie Day as Luigi.
Okay.
Jack Black as Bowser.
Okay.
Keegan-Michael Key as Toad.
What?
Okay.
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
I've heard that one. That one was weird.
Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong.
Okay, I'm out. I
don't remember who Fred Armisen
yes, you do.
is. He sounds so familiar.
What's the show called?
Washington. Portlandia.
I
haven't watched that.
What's his name? He's such a well-known comedian, right? Fred Armisen. I think he's so. You know how people feel about who's a famously hated comedian? Dane Cook.
Yeah.
Now, I think that the hate towards Dane Cook at this point in time is no longer warranted. After I learned what happened to him via his brother stole millions of dollars from him, and that's why he disappeared off the face of the earth. It wasn't because he wasn't funny. America loved him. He was, just
this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just looked up a picture of him. I've seen him in 30 Rock. I think that's the only place I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
Fred Armisen is so not funny to me. It makes me angry that he still gets cast. He's so popular, and he's apparently so funny, and I can't. I hate him.
All right, so I'm checking off Fred Armisen fans on the list of.
There's no such thing. It's my big.
So this is just going to be. This is going to be the bomb episode.
For a fact that I offended a lot of people because Fred Armisen is very popular in the comedian community.
I know for a fact you offended my mother.
No, he's very popular. And I feel bad because I've tried to watch so many of his things. Like, I tried to watch all of Portlandia, and I cannot. I watched his comedy special because I love stand-up comedians. So he's got a comedy special with, I forget what her name was. I think it's his wife. And it's just not good, in my opinion. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm the end all be all criticism. It's just not my style. He's like the opposite of my style. I cannot stand him.
Deion, I'll throw myself on that landmine for you as well. Will Ferrell is not a great comedian.
Ooh.
There you go. I just protected you. I just took the hottest of takes.
You really
Elf
did.
is a terrible fucking movie. Anybody who thinks Elf is funny needs to go back to grade school where they belong.
Do you guys remember probably like the first couple episodes where we had a question about what's your greatest like pet peeve, and mine was when it gets and the buffering. That's what this episode is going to be like because we have to cut out all this hate. It's just going to be random like snippets of us talking in and out, and there's going to be no context because I can't salvage any of this shit.
Matt, what if I told you me and Deion planned for this to be a 45-minute recording session, so you're not going to be allowed to cut out a single fucking minute?
Well, here's the thing. I'm just not going to publish it at that point.
I was going to say, he's just going to not be like, it's going to be the famous missing 7th episode,
Oh, God, we're only on 7 of these fucking things.
Yeah, we got to go to like, we got to go to like 120 before we even get recognized.
Oh, so much energy.
Buddy, I'm doing all this shit. I don't want to hear it. All I need you to do is show up with your mouth. That's it.
Look, Matt, I live my life a quarter mile at a time. Nothing else matters. Not the mortgage, not the store, not my team, all their bullshit. For those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
The fuck are you talking about?
I don't even know what's happening right now.
I don't.
So-
I think he's referencing something, and I'm
I am
I am
referencing
out in
something.
the ocean.
I'm just not allowed to say what I'm referencing for fear of retribution.
Do you want me to cut it out? Because I can do that.
No, don't cut it out.
Okay. I will say that for after the episode, but I gotta say I am woefully confused.
Jack Black could play a mean live action Bowser. I wish. I wish.
I think Peter Stormare would be a better Bowser.
Peter
Honestly.
Stormare?
Oh
Yeah.
man, oh man. Matt, you've opened up the doors. How can you have opened up the floodgates of my love for Peter Stormare?
I knew because
Oh, my
I
boy.
knew that would set you off like a
My
match.
boy, my sweet. I don't know if I'd actually get him.
Was this the
who would I
guy
get him
that
to play?
played the dad?
He's Lucifer in
Constantine.
In Constantine.
Wait a minute.
What's
I was looking at his discography. Not a discography. His
Cinematography.
cinematography. And I've seen a good
Filmography.
number of it. Not like even close to half. But
He
like
always plays like a bit part. He always plays like a bit part.
Constantine,
Like
He's just like a cameo.
Constantine, John Wick
Extra.
2, Armageddon. This guy has been in a little bit of every genre that you could think of.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
The
always such a great character.
Tilda Swinton is also a pretty good actor that's been in a lot of things, and you never recognize her because she always has a very different look in all of her films.
Hi, I'm Tilda Swinton.
Yeah.
I can play anything and anybody. Everybody complains about Scarlett Johansson taking every role,
No,
but
but Tilda
they
Swinton.
don't even know that I've played 6 black men.
So Tilda Swinton. Here's her discography. Doctor Strange, Narnia,
Yep.
and you know who she was in Narnia.
She's the
Snowpiercer,
Ice Witch.
and I didn't know who she was in Snowpiercer, and I saw that recently, and then I looked it up, and I was like, "That's Tilda
Narnia
Swinton."
from my memory.
Yep, the old lady was Tilda Swinton.
Yeah, Constantine, obviously.
Gabriel.
Yeah.
Let's
We need
see,
to talk about
the
Kevin.
Grand
She's the
Budapest
mom.
Trainwreck
Yes,
with
talk about
Amy
Kevin.
Schumer and that one
That's
white
right.
guy.
She's in the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Yep, Grand Budapest Hotel, Burn After Reading, Okja, the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. She's in that.
Yes.
Avengers
that.
Endgame, obviously. A movie called Pinocchio, which I can only imagine who she plays in that. Obviously the
Pinocchio, obviously.
Vanilla Sky with Tom Cruise, and just a shit ton of things that you. Uncut Gems.
When was she in
Uncut
Uncut
Gems?
I
Gems?
don't know. I didn't watch that movie. I'm sorry.
That's actually a great
You
movie.
guys have both told me to watch it, and I think I will.
But when was she in Uncut Gems?
Last and First Men,
I'm
War
legitimately trying to
Machine.
remember.
She's just I don't even know. And I want to ask, because I don't know, I'm going to look it up. I don't know if she's ever identified her pronouns. I'm assuming they're she, her, but they very easily could be they, them, because she's just perfectly androgynous. Just perfectly. You know what I mean?
That's Tilda,
Yeah.
that's Tilda Swinton in the Grand Budapest.
Like, and she's like what?
No, never would have
She's like
known.
what, 80? No, wait. So she said,
No, Tilda Swinton's very
She's
young.
60.
She's like,
Yeah.
but like,
Tilda
I mean,
Swinton's 60?
and she played,
Jesus.
she looks like 40, maybe. You know what I mean? Like maybe 40.
No, I wouldn't even classify. I would say she's younger. I would say she's probably late 20s, early 30s. I mean, she looks
She is
good.
made of porcelain.
And
She's a vampire. She's one of those actors that people call a vampire. My the other actor that I know is a vampire. I know it for a fact. Is Cher.
I mean, I also Kate Blanchett.
There's not a
to be
chance
fair.
in hell that Cher is not a vampire. Have you seen a
To be
picture of
fair.
her from today and a picture from 40 years ago?
That's plastic surgery, my dude.
Yeah, but it's also a little bit of vampirism
And makeup.
and makeup.
But mostly the plastic surgery.
You know who else is a fucking vampire and people don't want to talk about it? They just want to
Keanu
be sad
Reeves.
about it. What'd you say?
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is getting older. I was gonna say Betty White.
So she's not a vampire. I've come under the assumption she's a lich. And she literally has her. No, it's the only thing that makes sense. The life forces of other Hollywood stars are keeping her alive.
No, because-
it's the only thing that makes sense.
No, because her and the Queen are the only things literally older than sliced bread.
Like, come on, man. You can't even begin to deny it. Like, seriously, Hollywood stars older than her
Die
have
all
died,
the time.
and younger than her have died. She is a lich. She is feeding off the life force of I don't know who
That's
that
Cher.
is. Is that is
No.
No,
That's not
That's
Cher.
Megan Fox.
I was about to say that looks like Megan Fox, but I
It
can't
does not
remember.
look like her.
It looks like her. It has the jawline of Megan Fox. Cut
She
the
said
fact
way-
that I know. Cut the fact that I know what her jawline looks like out of this. Cut that all out.
That's fucking weird.
Wait, who's the first one?
Yeah, so that's the difference between Megan Fox when she's young and older. Like, you can kind of tell, but I mean, she clearly did stuff. Oh my god.
So
we just got a gif
of Lil Kim's face. Lil Kim's face changes over the year.
Oh my god, it is unsettling. It just shifts every 3 seconds.
No.
There's one.
Someone shifted a Michael Jackson in there. That's no. Come on.
And there's definitely an Asian lady in there. There's no way. I don't believe that.
And I want to say this. I don't want to disparage people who get cosmetic surgery because you perceive that there's some kind of flaw in you. If that's your way of fixing it, that's your way of fixing it. But there is a healthy line, or there's a line between healthy use of cosmetic surgery and straight up just mutilation of your body. Yeah. And that's where you need to really watch yourself, because
especially
you can really
if you can't control
up.
Your weight gain and weight loss.
Like, you can really fuck yourself up on plastic surgery, people. And if you feel like you need it, that's your jam. I'm not going to tell you don't need it. I'm not going to sit here and espouse the inner beauty, blah, 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 blah. We all have our own problems. But just
no one likes how they are.
Just check
straight
yourself.
Honesty. Yep. Just
keep an eye on it and don't let it get control over you, because you can end up like Little Kim. And she's still as beautiful as the day she was, but just something's different. I'm gonna delete this GIF now because it's giving me a headache.
It is very much fast.
I mean, again, I am of the opinion, like, you can do whatever you want. I mean, if you want to do heroin, I mean, that's up to you. I don't suggest it, but I mean, if you do with your life what you want to do, that's your opinion. The only problem I have is if you're hurting other people. If you're doing heroin and then start beating people up or doing terrible things, yeah, I got a problem with it. My only issue is when people lie to themselves, particularly, and they're not. Because there's a certain level of when people aren't happy with themselves, and the only thing that can fix it is a therapist. Because there's just certain plastic surgery that's just not going to fix it. At my last job that I just left, that there were 2 profile pictures that I hated just because I knew why they were the way they were. So one was an HR rep, and it was a woman, and like in the profile picture, it looked like, a blonde 25-year-old woman. It's very up close. It was nice. And then we get into a meeting with HR, and she has a webcam, and it's clearly a 57-year-old woman. Like, she still looks good. But the problem is that she has wrinkles, which she didn't in her profile picture. In her profile picture, it looks completely different. And my problem is that because there's such a stigma on women to be beautiful and to not, age and all that stuff. And that's what bothered me, is like, I know that you don't like this about yourself, and I don't like that you present a fake image of yourself because that's what you want to be, but that's not who you are. And it's just, I want you to accept who you are, even if, you want to get cosmetic surgery, all power to you, but I also want you to be happy with who you are. The other profile picture was someone who was gay, and it was a dude, and I mean, he was a dude. He had a strong beard, he was tall, he was muscular, and again, you look however you want, you dress however you want, but the problem is that in his profile picture, he did a bunch of those filters to make himself look feminine, and so his jawline looked all it looked like the uncanny valley problem, where like your jawline's all messed up, your face is all kind of smoothed over, you can't tell where your cheeks end, your beard is kind of messed up because the brush did something weird, and it was like, I have no problem with you wanting to look a certain way, but I don't want you to lie about yourself, because you're never going to be happy if you lie to yourself like this. I need you to go see a therapist, and I need you to go see whatever plastic surgery or whatever person to make you happy with how you look. I just don't like that you lie to yourself like this and promote this image that isn't true.
I think you just don't like face profile picture filters thingies.
Well, I don't, because I don't like people lying about themselves in particular, but because it's a very personal thing of like, I don't like necessarily a lot of things about how I look, but I don't try to not say lie about it, but the thing is, I don't lie to myself. That's the thing, is like, they're not really trying to lie to other people. It's just like, they're trying to lie to themselves. And I know that's the truth.
It's just their art.
All right. So,
but that's not art, because if it was art, I'm fine with like the dog face filter. Even like, again, it bothers me personally, but it doesn't hurt me. You do whatever you want. You have the little sparkles or glitter or whatever, that's fine. But when you change your face so dramatically that you no longer look who you are, that is my issue, because now you are deceiving yourself and other people to believe something that's not there. And my thing is, I know that there's an underlying issue that is not resolved.
That's fair.
And again, no hate. If that's what you want to do, you do you. If you want to get plastic surgery, if you are trans and you would get surgery, if you're just a transvestite and you just like to cross dress, that's fine. No problem with any of that. I just don't want you to lie about yourself. I don't want you to feel like you are wrong, or that people need to see this image, or you need to see this image. Be who you want to be, and that's fine. But don't lie to yourself and pretend that you're something you're not. Whether that's, you think you're an astronaut or you think that you're this thing, just be open and honest with yourself.
Hold on, I need to make sure transvestite is a word we still use.
I was going to say something, but I didn't know what to say.
Just so we know, so we can admit that we were a little wrong here. Transvestite is not often used anymore.
So what's the term we use?
So transvestite tends to refer to cross-dressers, so we tend to just call them cross-dressers.
Okay.
And then transgender, transgender.
That's something that's more specific and personal. And
yeah, but I think there's a difference between someone who dresses up in the clothes of another gender, or stereotypical clothes of another gender, and someone who actively transitioning or is embodying the other gender.
So I think these are the only differences I know. So like
also, we are 3 cis males. We are going to get shit wrong. Feel free to correct us peacefully, please.
So for his art, Tyler Perry is a cross-dresser,
not
right?
binary.
Just straight up. There's no getting around that. Plenty of
he is not a transvestite because he doesn't believe in it. He does it for
gentlemen, boys. May I? The reason transvestite has fallen out of order is because transvestitism was often considered a medical disorder, which we no longer agree with. It is cross-dresser now.
That's fine. So what I was gonna say was,
okay. I just liked it because it was Latin.
For
but
people,
I guess we're gonna change that.
For people that are out, I think you just call them. Well, if you need to, because I don't think for people that are out, if you need to reference it for some reason, you just say that person is trans. Otherwise, you just refer to them as a man or woman as they are now, right?
Yeah.
Non-binary or whatever pronoun or non-binary, right. Yeah, whatever.
If they're still non-binary, that's fine. So like for specific reasons, you might say that person is trans. Otherwise, you would just say he or she or whatever they are now. Otherwise, I guess you could just say cross-dresser. I'm trying to think of a reason that you would specify otherwise. There's not really a lot of good ones, I don't think.
There's really no reason to specify what a person is or isn't.
Right.
Also, side note, Matt, you may want to cut this out. When I said 3 cis males, Nick, you don't kind of follow on that line anymore. Do you want to change? Do you want to correct it on air?
I'm closer to non-binary, but it's more like
my question is, do you want to change that on air? Because I don't want to. I didn't mean to impose that. I kind of just forgot.
You're good. You're
Nick,
good.
You
can just keep this part.
You an envy baby? Huh? No, I'm just messing.
Kinda. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm not closer to a cis male, but I'm not also gonna sit here and be like, nah, there are days where like I genuinely don't feel like a man and don't feel like a woman. Like, I just feel like a person. I feel like a thing that exists and would like to just be an amorphous blob for the rest of eternity.
I want to be an amoeba. That's kind of my life goal
for my foreseeable future life, right? Because I'm gonna stand by the thing that I said earlier. But for me now, who I am now, I'm a cishet man, right? I identify as...
What does cishet mean? That's a new
one. So it's cisgendered heterosexual.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's just basically like I'm default, right? Well, then no. I take that back.
I thought cis meant default.
No. Cis. No, because you could be cis bi, you could be cis
I got this wrong.
So cisgendered means I identify as the gender I was assigned at birth, which is why we have AFAB and AMAB. Assigned male at birth, assigned female at birth. Because plenty of people and plenty of cultures have space for before English was hashtag the default language, which is sad, and before Europeans sort of Christianed all over the world, unfortunately, plenty of cultures, plenty of indigenous cultures, and I mean plenty, had space for non-binary identities. The Hawaiian culture has it. And
I think Samoa still has it.
And so they have.
I could be wrong on that, but I know it's like a Pacific Hawaiian.
A lot of Pacific Hawaiian
kind of this like ambiguous.
Yeah, they have space, and it's not just for people; it's also for gods, where they're just like they're not man, they're not woman, they're above that. They're just not. They have
They're just existence.
And then-
they're just their organism.
and then plenty of other tribes in Africa and plenty of other native cultures that have not been fully colonized have this space for, I'm not going to, there's no binary because there's not one or the other. There's, you are who you are, right? But I'm an American, unfortunately, so I've been taught the binary, and that's how I do identify for now, right? Because who knows, right? Whatever. So for as far as I can tell, I feel like a cisgendered, right? I was a side male at birth. I feel male. And then I'm also heterosexual, which is to say that I prefer female to men sexually. So cishet.
I feel like prefer is the wrong word. The reason I'm confused on it is because the language use.
Sure.
I just want to be clear on it because if I say prefer, if I prefer vanilla, it doesn't mean that if I get chocolate cake, I'm going to refuse it. It just means I would prefer to have vanilla.
So that was
but
me
if someone
speaking
puts a tick in my
personally.
face, there's no way I'm doing anything with that.
Yeah.
It's just it's not going to happen. It's not my thing.
That was me speaking personally. You were correct. Heterosexuals do not prefer. They mainly subscribe to. No, because you can be grossed out by dick. You can be grossed out by dick. That's fine. Everyone can be grossed out by like the way that they see things, right? There's not a chance in hell that you didn't see.
Yeah, it's basically just a fleshy version of the Shai Halud from Dune.
Stop it.
Bleep that out. Bleep that out.
The spice worm. The spice worm,
that out.
guys.
This did not make it any better.
Listen. So
That is not my
Size of a
nickname,
giant
though.
ship. The Shai Halud.
Yeah.
The old man in the
I
desert.
just-
Oh my god, Matt, if your dick's nickname is the old man in the desert. Yes.
You aren't waiting for me. What the heck?
Of course we are.
Waiting for me for what?
I don't know, because we love you.
Hey, you remember how I said you want to do a podcast and you were like, oh, I just want to be there. I don't want to be in part of the recording. No, you're part of the podcast, you piece of shit.
Okay, so I was going for one bathroom break and it was the end of the world. Whatever. We've done the entire podcast without people. We'll be fine.
Mom, Dad, stop it.
You're tearing this family
I'm
apart.
assuming I just came in during a natural lull and I just thought it was awkward silence.
No, I was telling you to use your Kegel so you'd pee faster.
You guys don't.
I was
do Kegels?
encouraging you, but apparently you couldn't hear me.
You guys don't do Kegels when you're peeing? Just me?
I always do
Kegels?
Kegels.
Sorry.
Is it Kegels? I thought it was
It's
Kegels.
Kegels.
I don't know.
Nick doesn't know. He's.
I try to go for maximum rocket speed,
Oh, I don't.
and I'm sure at one point I'm gonna blow up my anus.
No, I just.
I try to just survive. Let's not.
I just let
let's
go
not.
of the muscles.
I feel like this is not a conversation we should have on
So
the podcast.
I was actually gonna
to be
ask
honest.
It's not.
guys.
It's getting cut off, you dingus. There was like 5 minutes of dead air, and then
No, I know the
interrupted by
dead air.
Kegels
5
and
minutes.
peeing in our bathroom habits. I'm all for talking about porn on the
we've had an
podcast, but our
entire
bathroom habits are
podcast
off
without
topic.
Parks, and you guys waited for me for 5 minutes for what?
I don't know.
Well, I was gonna tell this. I was gonna tell the story about my dad being a fucking idiot in Naples.
Okay, hang on. I have a question.
No,
It's about you.
go.
I don't want to ask the question while I'm recording.
Ask the stupid question.
I mean, it's just like I don't even know how to say this. Never mind. I'm sorry.
You fucking dick. Jesus Christ. Hey, I have a question.
We're
Okay,
going
fine,
back
fine,
on that.
fine. I'll do it. It's
We're
just weird. I
going
just,
back on that.
you know, I'm gonna do it. This is why. I remember
The
watching
moment is
a
past. The
clip.
moment is past.
No, let's do
Matt,
it. No, I'm
start
doing
your
it
story. The moment
because
is
there's
past.
a quote by Brendan Lee Mulligan where he goes when he's doing Game Changer, and he's like, "There's not a single corner of my heart that I would not turn over to the world for 5 points."
First.
And so for attention, sure. Do you guys ever, when you're like about to fart, feel your sphincter like load up? The gas, like you feel like the gas collect or whatever.
I think.
Because when you have gas, it's not just always sitting at the bottom of your anus. It's like distributed without, like, you know, your like the rest of your organs prior to your anus, right? So whatever is connected to that.
Okay, I don't think so anymore. I think I think you feel your body loading the chamber,
Yeah,
which is
yeah. That's what I'm
weird.
saying.
I at least weird to me. I don't feel that. I just feel that I need to
Never
fart,
felt that?
and it's
So I was
And
just
I could feel like in my kind of like in my stomach towards in the.
I was just
the
taking a
GI
piss, right? And
I'm making a call. This part stays in the podcast.
No. I was
This
just,
is not staying in the
I was
podcast at all.
I was just
This
taking
is
a piss.
absolutely
Listen,
staying in the podcast.
This
was
is
just-
gone. This
I
is
was-
exterminated. This is. I'm gonna delete this from your all's computers as well. This is gone.
I was just taking a piss, and then I just passed gas, and it was fine. And then I had to pass gas again, but it was like I felt.
But it was a dangerous one.
No. It wasn't. I didn't have any accident or anything. But I felt the gas like glug, 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 through my system, and then I had to pass gas again.
I've felt the gurgles.
Yeah.
And then the two.
And then another two. Yeah, that's like filling it load up, right? Is that what that is?
I don't know if that's exactly how that works, but I don't know how the inner
Is your
my-
anus not shaped like a gun? Is that just me, or is it just like you just load a
Do you have
chamber?
a 6 rounds? Do you have a 6-round chamber in your fucking anus?
No one else
happens
farts
if
like
it
a
misfires?
submachine gun. Just
What happens if you jam your anus?
that's when you shit. I think.
No, that's a proper release. That's full pull on the trigger.
So is gas just like the gun, the smoke fire that after you?
Gas is firing blanks.
Oh, okay. Okay. We're done with this. This is definitely getting cut. We're done with
This
that.
line of question is terrible. We're going back to the story, Matt.
So what happened to you
Matt.
and your dad in Naples?
Matt, tell us about your dad's nipples.
I'm gonna need a better intro than that because that was horrendous.
I hate both of you so much.
And we're keeping that.
You can just start talking, and you'll figure
I'm
it
gonna
out.
start
You'll
talking
know what
again.
that
Yeah,
is.
just tell the
You'll
story.
Like
find your
usual,
own
I'm probably just gonna bleep Nick out for the most of this episode because.
Stop it.
No, so a couple days ago we were talking, and it was one of the things that led into it. And apparently, I never told the story to them. I thought I had, but when I went to Italy, we went to a few places. We went to Rome, we went to Venice, we went to Naples to go to Vesuvius, and then we went to Florence. When we went to Vesuvius, you have to take a train into Naples, which is a shithole, and I mean that truly and utterly. I grew up around Philly. I've been around those people. I've taken the subway there. I've dealt with the people. It's not a good time. And when I tell you that I have never seen a more violent and like uncomfortable place than the Naples like subway, I mean it. Like my brother has been has life threatened on his the train in Philly. We've been mugged. I've been pickpocketed in Philly. Like it's some serious shit. But there was never a time where we thought that we were actually going to get hurt. My brother knew that dude was just bluffing. He was just a dickhole.
How does it feel?
But in Naples, man,
This is going to be like a dumb question. How does it feel to get pickpocketed? Because you obviously don't feel it, but then you realize it later. So what's that like?
I was
Does it
10.
feel like a violation of your personal
Yeah.
space?
I mean, yeah, I was like 10 when it happened, and I was very annoyed and very concerned because they had taken money out of my pocket, and I was just more concerned what else they had taken, and they had also taken no, that was it. That was all they took. Because I'd gotten a pocket watch and $20 from my uncle for my birthday, and we were going around Philly, going to like the Liberty Bell, just going around downtown, like the Broad Street, and just kind of viewing the historical landmarks and stuff. And it just, at some point, I noticed I didn't have $20 anymore. That was it, and I was upset for quite some time. And my dad, being my dad, who I guess this actually leads into the Naples part. My dad literally was born and grew up in Philly until he was 20 something, and he goes back all the time. He loves the culture. He's been like, I don't know why he does. and this dude, like, he was like, he could tell that I was upset, and I remember him being kind of flustered because he didn't know how to handle the situation because he's an adult and he's had it happen to him, but he's never had it happen to his kid. So and that's the thing where, like, as an adult, like, what do you do? And that'll also lead into the kind of conversation. So as we go into Naples, again, I had studied Italian, parlo un po' di italiano. I speak a bit of Italian. I knew Latin. I was a Latin teacher. I don't know Italian or Italy perfectly. I am not that person, but I know it well enough to know not where to go. And so we went to Vesuvius and we had to go through Naples. I told my dad when we were on the train from, I think it was Rome or Florence. I forget where we started. And I said, we're going into Naples. Naples is literally, it's like Philly, but worse. It's very impoverished. There's a lot of crime. They don't care. There's pickpockets. There's murder. There's rape. all sorts of terrible, terrible things happen. And because we are tourists, and because we are not native, we are going to be a highlight. So just make sure you do your Philly thing of keeping close or whatever. And my dad, being an arrogant, goddamn white American man, goes, whatever. I was in the Air Force. I've been to Turkey. I've seen some shit. And whatever. Like, he wasn't exactly like that, but that's clearly what he thought. Because
he falls into the way of bravado.
Yeah. And so, I mean, he hadn't been in the Air Force in like 25 years. He hasn't really been in Philly for 20-some years. So there's also a lot of it that he forgets what happened. So we go from, I believe it was Florence, but we get off the train from whatever city, and then we take a train into the subway for Naples. And that was where my dad, probably for one of the first times, and I mean, I'm 25 at this point. 24? I think 24. And this is one of the few times that my dad has looked at me and said, hold on, you were right. You literally walk into down the stairs into the subway for Naples, and you see signs everywhere that says, beware of pickpockets, we will not come get you, we will not help you, don't do anything stupid, don't talk to the wrong person. Like, there's a bunch of warning signs of like, you are in a dangerous place, do not fuck around. There's bulletproof grass everywhere, which we've never seen anywhere else in Italy.
I'm sorry.
We've been all over.
It's so dangerous, there's bulletproof grass?
Grass, son.
Holy shit, how did they manufacture that?
They didn't. That's evolution, baby. Darwin.
Manufactured bulletproof weed?
No, so
the bullets evolved.
There's bulletproof glass and where the people order the tickets. And I tell my dad, I said, hey, don't say anything. I speak enough Italian that I will get us through this. So I get 2 tickets, due biglietti to Vesuvius. And like the ticket guy noticed something was wrong because I said from Napoli, which he's like, Napoli. I'm like, oh, fuck, I mispronounced something. Shit, I need to really fix that right now. Again, those are the types of things when you speak a language where people will catch it and notice that you're not a native because you'll say really basic words wrong. Like, they'll understand what you're saying, but the pronunciation will be off. But I'm talking to this dude, and again, it's kind of, there's enough people there and it's loud enough that, like, again, they shouldn't be focusing on me because I'm speaking Italian, I'm flowing with the people, and one big thing is if you don't want to make yourself a mark, keep your head straight, focused, and move. Do not dilly-daddle, do not look around, do not stick out like a sore thumb. And so that's what we did. I got the 2 tickets, we got on the train, and we headed there. And so my dad and I got a seat on the train, and I'm sitting down, and I'm staring like directly at my dad, or I'm out the window to the side. I'm not looking at anybody, but the one thing I do is have my backpack to the right towards the window. So in order for them to get anything in the backpack, they have to literally come through me.
Go through.
No one can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So again, this is the type of things you learn when you've been pickpocketed and when you've been in these situations. Just the basic survival skills of how not to get fucked with. So I'm doing all these precautions, and my dad is still being arrogant, and I can tell in his face. And I'm trying to keep a low profile. And you can see every other Italian is doing the same thing. Every other Italian is looking away from each other, not engaging because you don't want to make yourself look like a mark. There's clearly homeless people on the train. You don't want to engage with them because they will harass you and they will try to either steal from you or try to goad something out of you. But at a certain point, and this is like 11 stops. It's like an hour train ride. 2 stops in, my dad looks at me and goes, "Hey man, you're on your birthday. Look like you're having fun."
Oh my God.
Extremely loud. And again, it's quiet because no one's trying to engage with it. There's some people talking, but not a lot. And I literally, I do that thing where I put my thumb and my middle finger in between my nose. And I'm so mad because this my scowl, my face is already a scowl naturally. I had formed it even to more of a scowl. And I was just like, my focus was so severe. In the sense of don't fuck with me. That's what it was. It wasn't like, I'm gonna fuck you up. It was just like, don't mess with me. I don't want to deal with it. Leave me alone. And so you did 2 things. For people that don't really understand, you spoke English clearly without an accent, which means everybody knows that you're not from here. 2,
right.
You mentioned it's my birthday.
Which means
what happens when it's on someone's birthday?
You get money.
You get money, you get presents, you do special things.
You're a tourist.
Yep. And so I get up and look, and there are 5 or 6 people kind of peering over their shoulder looking at us. Some of them look like they have ill intent in their eyes. They're kind of like scoping us out. Some of them are just kind of like, what the fuck was that? Again, but I don't know their intentions. But I'm like, and I literally, this is one of the first real times I sat at my dad and just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Literally, like you blew my cover. You know that, right? So look around you. And I'm trying to be quiet, but I'm also like, look around you. We have 9 stops to go. We have 45 minutes. No one here is talking to each other. Everybody here has holes in their clothes. They smell like shit. A lot of them are homeless or very impoverished. You made us out to be targets. Because now we're in a foreign country not speaking their language.
Right? You got to get off and get back on, right?
Nope. Because so many other people got on that we couldn't move. Which was not a good thing. Yeah. So at the next stop, that's what I wanted to do, but at the next stop, so many people got on that like we couldn't move without it being a problem. And I'm like, I'm not getting up because then someone's going to probably knock into me to get my backpack or...
Right. The whole
and like, shebang. It's at that point where you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And so my dad is, and after 2 or 3, after I think it was the second stop, my dad is still kind of like lackadaisical about it because, you know, he's arrogant. I've been Philly. I've done this shit before. I've been pickpocketed, been in fights. There's a bunch of like 12, 13-year-old girls in like super mini skirts, like super tight clothing, like very promiscuous type clothing, kind of going around talking to a lot of the older men. And because I speak Italian, not fluently, but I can understand what they're saying, it ain't good. It ain't clean. And I told my dad, look at that. It's exactly what it looks like. And then there's a family of a dude wearing like cut off shorts, no shirt on. He has a tambourine. He's with his kid. His wife is also in a bra and panties, and they're like sitting there singing for money. And my dad at that point goes, fuck, you were right. And I go, yes, listen to me. Listen to the things that I know. I don't understand why you don't trust that I know things yet. Fortunately, nothing bad happens on the way there. But on the train back, something did. On the train back, my dad is much more agreeable to me. He is doing the same thing I'm doing, scowl, paying attention, holding, like having his hands in his pockets so no one can pick it easily. And another thing that I do in those situations is where I take all my credit cards and my money and I put them in my sock and I just keep my wallet out because that way if someone mugs me, you get in my wallet, it's got nothing in there. Have fun.
What do you mean you keep your wallet out?
So I keep my
half of it in your pocket like a bifold.
No. I keep my wallet in my pocket. It's just I keep it away from anything that's valuable or necessary.
Oh, like your front pocket though.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So we have our hands in our pockets. I am against the wall with my backpack. It's on my back. It's on my shoulder. So again, you're gonna have to go through me to get to it. And the whole time we're watching, and at it's 11 stops. At like the last 5 or 6, greasers come on. There's no other way to say the greasers. These dudes have extremely crusty hair. They're like 16, 17. They look like they're,
I'm so sorry, but all I have for reference for that is my college girlfriend made me watch that movie. Grease.
Is it the Grease?
Yeah, like the actual Grease movie. Like I don't have any other reference for that.
Yeah.
So I'm picturing like these singing gangsters came on your train.
No, so if you remember in high school, if you ever dealt with some of the Hispanic kids who would grease their hair, and they would really overdo it.
Yeah. Well, that's how it is in the movie.
Yeah, and that's how they do it in the movie. Yeah, it's because, and by the way, if you grease your hair, I used to do it. I used to part and slick back my hair.
Oh man, and I mean, he looked evil when he did that as a teacher, and he looked like a mobster. I swear.
Well, there's a reason I stopped slicking back my hair and I started parting it is because it was completely different. Man, I looked sinister.
You look like a mobster, like straight up, like you look like you were going to school as a substitute who was like, I am a substitute teacher, like a Russian substitute. I'm here merely to teach. I am here merely to craft young minds. I only want. And then during lunch, there was a murder mystery for some reason, and then you disappeared. Like how convenient.
Or someone's like, "Oh, that's Mr. Tchaikovsky." Like there is no Mr. Tchaikovsky. He was never on the list. What do you mean? Who was that man? That kind of
exactly.
Yeah. Bum bum bum. Weird squirrel meme happens.
Yeah. And so, by the way, if you grease your hair. When it dries, take your fingers and run it through your hair because it'll break it up and make it look a lot better. Just so you're aware. Yeah.
When you grease your hair, always carry a lit candle with you.
Yes, absolutely. That way,
Always just carry an open flame.
you never know when you're gonna need it. Never know when you're gonna see it.
You never know when you're gonna need the powers of Ghost Rider. You know.
Sure.
That's how you get them, right? You set your head on fire.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
Jeez, you. So the greasers come on. There's like 4 of them, and they're with a maternal figure. They're speaking in Italian, and they're speaking really fast, and they're also using a lot of words that I don't know. So I can't pick up everything, but I can pick up enough that they're looking at certain people. They're looking at bags. They're looking at things. Like, I can clearly tell what they're talking about, and then I point to my dad and go, them. And my dad goes, of course it's them. Why do they gotta be so stereotypical? That's what pissed us off the most. I'm like, can you at least not be so stereotypical? Because they all looked like goddamn outsider, disgusting people. Like 2 stops before we're done and get back to the main station, some British white lady goes, has anybody seen my son's phone? And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Here we go. And she goes, has anybody seen my son's phone? And then eventually she goes to the greasers, because I'd seen the greasers move and they're doing the thing. And she goes, I know he has it. I know he has it. And the boy is probably like 16, 17. And the boy's like, am I not going to get my phone back? Because the Italians are like, I don't speak English. I don't know anything. And the woman that's there is obviously the mom and complicit, is saying, oh, we don't have your phone. I know they don't have it. Get away from us. This is our phone. And the dad is the only reasonable one. The dad's like, we need to leave. Just get out. Stop it. Because he notices that no one else is helping him. No one cares. Which is not a good thing. If you get into a fight, no one's going to help you. And there's 4 of them. And they're fucking assholes. And the whole time, like, they're kind of ramping up. And they're ready for a fight. The greasers are. And then eventually the dad's like, we're leaving. I'm done. I'm taking my son. You can do whatever the fuck you want, woman. I'm taking my son and we're getting out of here because this isn't worth it. It's a phone. We'll shut it off. We'll get a new one. It's okay. The greasers did the stupidest thing, that they laughed. And then Italian, once the British people got off, they laughed, and they, like, in Italian, they're saying that they did it and like how they got away with it. And then the police get on board because they didn't get off the fucking train. And then I never saw a more, like, cowardly people just scatter like ants and literally start crying and miserable, like, well, it's because you're idiots. Run! You should have known to get off the train. And that's the end of the story, pretty much. I just thought, again, to my dad, I just looked at them the whole time and was like, I told you. Listen to me. Asshole. Listen to me. I warned you.
You know, I think it's that time. I think it's my favorite time, Deion's favorite time.
Where we get naked?
Questionably Matt's favorite time. Maybe not. I think it's time I asked y'all a question. My question is, I think, a simple one. I think it's one you'll both like. It's one that can be either highly specific, Deion, or not.
Highly specific, Deion.
Yeah. But true. What to you is the perfect time of day?
Interesting.
Damn it. This is going to be so embarrassing. It's not a hard question. I don't know why it would be really rude. You're going to have to explain it to me. I'm going to say dusk.
On any given day?
Yeah. Always.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's...
During the summer, it's dusk. It's after sunset. It's always the coolest. Even in the winter, it's just better.
No.
Actually, no, during the winter, I'm going to go with sunrise.
Now, this is what I asked. Which would you prefer? Because it is your favorite time of the day.
It's dusk most of the time.
Which is why I said it could be highly
during
specific.
winter, it's sunrise, but the rest of the seasons, it's dusk.
I am unfortunately going to have to agree with him.
The fuck do you mean unfortunately for?
Because I hate you.
Because he doesn't want to have the same answer. Yeah, I understand.
It's like when you go to a restaurant, someone orders something, and unlike a reasonable adult where you can get the same goddamn thing.
Okay, no, like, but I do agree you can't get the same thing. No, you can't.
I was going to get that. Well, guess what? It turns out that they make more than one. It's not like one per table. There's not a limit.
No, you don't understand.
You don't understand. You can't have the same thing.
You can't have the same thing.
You can't.
I'm
so mad at him for saying that because he knows both of us are the same way. If someone, I will go last every time. just to make
I will
sure.
not let a person get the same thing as me.
If someone says, "Oh yeah, you're
both
he's
pathetic.
having," I'll say, "I'll change."
Yeah. No, you can get it. I'll get something else then.
You're both goddamn pathetic. If I want a cheeseburger and someone else gets a cheeseburger, guess what I'm gonna get? What the fuck I want?
Listen.
What are you gonna call me, a copycat? At least I'm getting good food.
Matt, what you should understand is what me and Deion want is to be the only one with our dish at the table. That's what we want.
It's a combination of I want to be the only one, and if for some reason, listen, I don't encourage, but I don't discourage sharing food. But if everyone gets the fettuccine alfredo, no one gets to be like, "Oh, this is good. You want to try this? Can I try that?" I don't love that, but I like that it's a possibility. Because then I know for next time, damn, this is better than what I got. I'm getting that next time.
100% I want to be the only one who has this at our table. I want exclusivity rights to my food.
Y'all
Also, yes. Also, I want to be like, you know what? I got the best thing. Y'all suck at ordering food.
So side question: if you're on a date and your date asks for some of your fries or whatever, does that piss you off?
No, not at all.
Okay. Some people are real pissed off about that, and I'm like,
I'm not protective about my food. I'm protective about my choices.
I'm like, yeah, fucking come, eat. Let me come with you.
But anyway, so I would say dusk, especially for summer, which is odd. I love the heat, honestly. I'm a big fan of the heat. My man.
Weirdo.
You're a fucking weirdo.
I literally never got used to living with him. Neither.
I love the heat, much preferred. But I love dusk just because I love
also
nighttime
the aesthetic,
as well.
right?
Yeah, it's the aesthetic. I love nighttime. I love summer nights. Over the summer, I have such a problem because I will stay up till like 3 or 4 a.m. When it's winter, I'm in hibernating mode. I'm in bed at like 2 p.m. I'm ready to sleep through and hopefully get to spring. I can't handle it. So I would say for most of the other seasons, I would say around noon.
Here's where I say you're both liars and sham artists. You're both liars and sham artists. This is where I say
you're not wrong, but go ahead.
4 a.m. 3 to 4 a.m. Any time of the year. And here's why. All right. Middle of summer. It's crisp. It's cool. Birds are out singing. It's early enough that the birds are going to be out, so there's a bit of life to the world. But not enough life that anybody has yet to come out. And the air is in that weird transitory state where it's not quite the morning dewy air, but it's not quite that yesterday air, if you know what I mean. There is like there's a transitory state to that summertime 4 a.m. and then that 3 to 4 a.m. 4 a.m. for the summer, 3 a.m. for the winter, because in winter it is the stillness of the middle of the night that is most beautiful.
No, it's awful.
Especially in a snow-blanketed town. It is the most soothing and unobtainable experience to me. Like, there is nothing that you can do to replicate this. And, yeah, you're fucking freezing. Sure. But there's something that you're like,
no,
this is acceptable. And Matt's like, I'm in my house admiring the stillness and the silence.
Yeah, I'm looking out a window.
3 a.m. winter.
Nick is out there like a small child just playing in the snow, making snow angels.
No, I'm like in the middle of the street, just sort of
dancing.
like staring upwards. Just sort of staring upwards, just sort of like zoning the fuck out, losing myself in the quiet. You don't understand. I love that period of the night.
Yeah,
but you're both liars and shams. I am correct. This is the only time the question will have a correct answer. Thank you for listening, everybody. Have a wonderful evening.
What's great is that Nick forgot who edits these.
Make as much anarchy.
Okay, Nick really forgot who's editing these.
And don't forget that at the end of the day, no matter what you think about how we feel about anything that you heard, this is an anti-capitalist podcast.
And also,
You can
what
edit
he
that out if you
said.
want, but it's still true every time.
I have a feeling most of that's staying in, except for the second part what Nick said. I think I am gonna just cut that out and to the point where I say, and Nick forgot, because that was a little extreme. However, Deion, you're not entirely wrong, so I mean, I'm not gonna exclude that. I mean,
Yeah, even if we don't get to
kind
it,
of lost the
which is
plot
hard.
today.
It's hard with me to not get to the fact that things are anti-capitalist. But yeah, it doesn't matter what we talk about. We're still in the anti-capitalist podcast, straight up, 100% every time.
I'm just mostly anti-human. I just think humans are trash. I think every political system, every ideological system, every philosophy always has flaws because the problem that people forget is that humans will mess things up.
Podcast is over.
and the only reason that Matt hasn't killed himself is because he's human, which means he's full of hubris. So it's,
Not only hubris, but unfortunately, as I've mentioned to some of my students, is that if I start dying, I will plead for my life. I will ask you to send an ambulance. Please do not, because that is a survival instinct. It is not actually what I want. Please let me go.
No, because it's true. It's like, yeah, I hate all
And then the
humanity.
guidance
It's
counselor
awful.
came to me.
It's all
That is
awful,
not
and I
true.
hate all humanity. But I'm still a human. Please let me live. I want to live longer. It's not contradictory. It's just being human.
Yeah, it's
This podcast was brought to you by the.
that has to get cut out.
Thank
We
you.
cannot promote that. That is false.
I think we can in fact get sued for
Yeah,
that.
no, it's just.
Nah, we'll cut that out.
Yeah, but we're not on that system, so we can definitely be.
We're allowed to use it.
I don't think so.
It's public. It's public.
I don't think it counts.
It's in the name.
I think it's
they can't lie.
I think it's a
Gentlemen,
specific
it's
channel.
irrelevant
No.
because I am cutting it out. That is a definite fact. That is a statement of fact.
I'm pretty sure it's a specific channel. I don't think it means that it's public. I think that it means that it's the title.
Hold
Hold on.
If you can't put public in the name.
I don't think
If
it
it's not
matters what you
public.
put in the name. I think I don't think copyright cares. I don't think copyright cares about what you think.
Let me see. I'm trying to look. This logo is a registered trademark of and is used with permission.
Yeah. But I didn't ask
You
about
straight
that.
up,
but I
you
didn't
straight
ask
up
about
cannot
that.
use. You cannot invoke the name of.
But I didn't. No, I can because I didn't use their trademark. I didn't use the mark of their.
Yeah, no,
trademark.
I think they own their name though.
I'm gonna say this right now. Is sponsoring us. Thanks for sponsoring.
There's just 10
The
minutes.
longer we
There's
record, the more false sponsorships I
There's just
claim.
10 minutes of dead air at the end, and no one knows why.
Oh, I'm just cutting the episode early. You're out of your
Yeah, no,
mind.
I mean this. I figured this whole part was getting cut out.
Nick,
Pretty much just
Nick, what do you-
Matt.
Any final comments that we really want to get on the podcast?
no, I just wanted to talk to you guys for a second.
Well, let's.
Don't be afraid to be who you want to be. Be afraid of the worst versions of yourself, and don't be the French.
Yeah.
Okay,
Finally, we got
This
him on
is-
our side.
This is gonna be.
But if you want to be French,
No.
just try to be kind of French, but don't be like douchey French.
This is gonna be something that I start preaching.
Man,
Kind of.
that audio clip was huge
What?
of just me shouting no. It was it took up
him
a whole
putting his
bar.
big
No.
floppy wiener on the fucking table.
One of my things I want to start preaching really heavily because it's really important to me. If you're the kind of person that enjoys helping people, the most important thing that I want anyone in that position to know is that it's also important to let people help you.
Fuck that.
And it's selfish of you to deny people the ability to help you, because how dare you take away from them the ability to feel grateful that they could help someone. The same way that you love helping other people, when you stop people from helping you, you're denying them that joy that you feel when you help others, and that's selfish. And I'm going to be on that soapbox for the next 2 weeks at least. So
And that soapbox is actually brought to you by.
So
so you're just not on air for like a
that's
long
not even
time
a
at this
thing.
point.
So Nick has his
It's a real thing.
Nick has his weekly question, and then Deion is gonna have his weekly message of
Soapbox.
Of.
yeah. His
All right.
So
Matt
that's
gets a lad fact.
Thanks everybody for listening. We started with me cutting Nick off from talking about the again, and we ended up with my dad being a fool in Naples. And we, just like you guys, have no idea how we got there either. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope to see you next Thursday. If you want to support us, we have a Patreon page. I, Rhuminus, will stream on Twitch every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I upload to YouTube, and I've also published 2 books, and you can support us that way as well if you'd like.
And welcome to the Ask of the Curious, the fan cast. I'm Robert Torque Jenkins. These are my hosts, Jimmy Jim Dan Smith and Eric Rutabaga. On today's episode, we're going to be discussing travesty.
Okay, Cam, I have a question.
No.
It's about you.
Go.
I don't ask the question while I'm recording.